I'm Tonya McGrath. On this special week-long edition of the PowerPLAY RePLAY, I'm celebrating some women in power who are near to my heart and are part of this weekend's World Vitiligo Day Conference in Minnesota. I'm so proud to be a part of this community who live to support and empower people living with vitiligo, the focus of my upcoming film documentary, More Than Our Skin. As I've been sharing over the past year, I've been working on this project focusing on the lives of 5 women, Valarie, Katrina, Millicent, Alicia, and Patricia, all living with vitiligo. So each day this week, you will hear a bit of their journeys and how their pain became their purpose to help others in their communities. It's a special week-long PowerPLAY RePLAY, and it begins now. March is National Women's Month, and all month long we're in our Empowering Women series, where I'm highlighting one of the amazing women from my upcoming documentary film, More Than Our Skin. This week, my guest is Katrina Christian, leader of the North Carolina chapter of Vit Friends. Katrina shares her journey and how she's helping others in her community living with vitiligo. That's coming up next on The PowerPLAY Show.
From the studios at Hull Bay Productions, this is Season 3 of The PowerPLAY Show. Now, here's Tonya McGrath.
Welcome to The PowerPLAY Show. I'm Tonya McGrath, and all month long, I'm celebrating 5 women in power who are near to my heart. As I've been sharing over the past year, I'm working on my second film project, More Than Our Skin, a documentary focusing on the lives of 5 women living with the autoimmune disease vitiligo. This week, my guest is Katrina Christian, the leader of the North Carolina chapter of Vit Friends. Vit Friends is a patient advocacy group that encourages, educates, and empowers members of the vitiligo community to know all there is to know about their disease, to advocate for themselves, to be comfortable in their own skin, and to live their best life now. Katrina not only shares her story with others in her community, but does so with a faith and a strength from an amazing family and one incredible husband. Katrina, welcome to the PowerPLAY Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for just taking this time out, because as you know, I'm just celebrating all of you this month, and so you're third up. So as I'm doing with every show, I want you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, your family, just who Katrina is.
Again, my name is Katrina Christian. I was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. My family moved to New York in 1973, and I moved to North Carolina in 1995. I am the 4th of 5 children born to my parents. There are 3. I have 3 sisters and a brother, and I'm number 4.
Number 4, but number 1 in my book. And talk about, you have a blended family now with your husband, Doug. Yes. So talk about your children, your blended family.
Yes, Doug and I have 4 children together. Have a biological son, and he has 3 children. And we have 2 grandsons.
That's wonderful. And I got to meet people when we were down there last week. But I want to get into now a little bit with your story, because this is just going to kind of set us up for our discussion about how you're working with other people in the vitiligo community. So how many years ago were you diagnosed with vitiligo?
I was diagnosed in July of 2012, so it's been almost 10 years now. It started out with a spot on my knuckle and another spot under my wrist. I really kind of thought it was eczema, because I suffered with eczema as an adult. So I just thought I was going to go to the doctor and get some cream for eczema, but it turned out to be vitiligo.
And like I've heard from so many in the vitiligo community, you were like basically handed a pamphlet and told, this is it. This is the rest of your life. How was that day for you?
Yeah, it was kind of, well, the doctor, what he did was he examined me, and he, put the light on me and told me that it was definitely vitiligo, and he handed me a pamphlet and handed me a prescription for some cream, and just basically kind of walked out of the door. So I was left there just sitting there, just kind of figure out, well, what just happened and what else is there for me? And I just felt like that was the end of the Katrina that I knew at that time. So he showed no empathy, really no bedside manner or anything like that.
Did he talk about there not being a cure? Did he talk about any risk factors? Did he get into any kind of details with you?
No details. He just kind of handed me a pamphlet. I guess, basically I was kind of on my own to find out the information of how it's going to progress or how it's going to affect me later on.
That must have been very hard for you.
Very difficult. Very difficult. I left out of there thinking, okay, so I just started dating and I didn't know how I was going to tell the person I was dating at the time, and how I was going to tell him that I have vitiligo, and I don't know how this is going to affect me in the future.
But you ended up finding pleasantly that the guy that you were dating, who's now your husband,
right,
just turned out to be incredibly supportive, beyond supportive. What did that mean for you at that time?
It meant a whole lot to me. And when I told him, his specific words to me were, "It's just skin." And what he meant by that is that there was more to me than vitiligo or than my skin. So it meant a lot to me. He's encouraged me ever since I was diagnosed in July of 2012.
Because
my number one supporter.
Yes, because I think what people really have a hard time understanding is how this affects you emotionally. Yes, there's a transformation in your skin, but talk a little bit about emotionally and mentally what that transformation was like for you.
I cried a lot. I didn't know how it was going to progress. I didn't know the time frame that I was going to start progressing more. I didn't know if I was going to, my pigment was going to turn completely, or if it was just going to remain where it was at the time. So, the emotions set in, and I cried a lot, and it got to a point where I had to make a decision what I was going to do from that point forward.
And you actually tried to seek out some treatments for yourself.
I did.
Talk about what that treatment was and what you entailed during that process.
Well, before I sought treatment, I had a meeting with my manager, and I, discussing vitiligo with her. And she said, "Katrina, I want to tell you something." She said, "My daughter has vitiligo." And she referred me to her daughter's dermatologist. And I went to that place. It was a complete turnaround from where I first went and where I first was diagnosed. And they gave me some treatment options. I began the UVB light therapy, and I did that for about 3 years. And I came to the point where I decided to let it go because my vitiligo was progressing faster than the treatment was helping.
How has this last almost 10 years been like for you? You have an amazing support system in your family, but just talk about how it's been like for you, what this transformation has been like for you.
Well, the transformation, I'm better than where I was about 9-10 years ago. But it certainly took time for me to get to where I am today. But it's I'm not gonna say it's funny, but it's ironic how things turn out because of the vitiligo, I've done things that I never thought I would do before. I've been able to pursue some dreams of mine. I've done some modeling. I've always wanted to model ever since I was in high school. So I've been able to do that. Been able to be before people that I never thought I would, be before. Met with governor, the mayor. So it has offered me some opportunities that I've never thought I would have.
Is it fair to say that it's given you a little bit of confidence to do these amazing things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even talking with you, I never thought I would, be interviewed here with you. And it's because of vitiligo. It's given me more opportunities that I never thought I would have.
Well, we're going to actually listen to one of those opportunities because we have to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Katrina Christian in just a moment. But first, here is one of the trailers for the upcoming film documentary, More Than Our Skin, featuring Katrina, titled Why Not Me? You're listening to the Power Play Show.
It was difficult. It was real difficult.
Because you knew
that this was going to be it. That there was not going to be anything else out there to help me, because I had already tried everything. I cried almost every single day because I was very, very fearful about how I was going to look. I didn't know how I was going to look, how it was going to affect me physically, my outward appearance, because I always took pride in how I looked, how I dressed, how I carried myself. So I didn't know how it was going to progress. So, the fear set in. I didn't know how people were going to accept me, if they was going to shy away from me. The fear of not being included in events, or people not wanting me to be in their pictures. Those things bothered me a lot. When I first started going to Raleigh North, I was pretty broken. But the love from that church is just extraordinary. The fellowship of the members in the church is extraordinary. The pastors there are just awesome. They're very encouraging. They have encouraged me from day one with my diagnosis. There are no words that I can express how appreciative of my church family and the pastors. God was always there. God was always there. I prayed a lot. God was always there. I never thought that He had left me. Of course, I questioned God, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why did you allow this? I know God is sovereign. But I asked, why is this happening to me? Why did you choose me? So the answer that I got was, well, why not you?
Now back to the Power Play Show.
We're back with Katrina Christian, and we just saw a trailer where you asked the question, why not me? How do you believe God has been using you to help others?
There was, my pastor preached a sermon while Doug and I went on a honeymoon. And that sermon meant so much to me. And it actually showed me what my purpose is with vitiligo. And that just is to help people through their journey. So being involved with the community, with the people, it's helped them to be more who they are. Don't be afraid to be, to show your vitiligo. Don't be afraid to just live, basically. So I think this, the vitiligo has offered me opportunities. It's actually helped me to help other people, which is always been something that I wanted to do also. I'm a people person. I like to help people. So that's part of my personality.
Yes, and you're one of the sweetest people I've ever met. You know, you became a leader for Vit Friends in North Carolina. How did that come about?
I was at a women's conference at my church, Women's Fellowship, and I sat next to a lady named Susan Adams, who I think you're familiar with. And she happened to notice that I had vitiligo on my hands. And she asked me, she said, do you have vitiligo? I said, yes, I do. And she asked me if I was familiar with Vit Friends. And I said, no. She said, I want to put you in contact with the founder of Vit Friends. Her name is Valarie Molyneux. And she gave me her name and number. So a few days went by and I decided to give Valarie a call. So we talked and she put me in contact with the young lady who was actually heading the support group at the time. And I talked with her as well and I decided to come on board. In 2015, I attended a conference in Boston where I met Valarie and some other people as well. So, you know, that's how I got connected with Vit Friends, and I've enjoyed the journey so far, and I know I will continue to enjoy it forever. So that's my family.
How has Valarie helped you with this? Because we know that she is the founder of Vit Friends, and she has basically kind of found all of you in these different roles and in all over the world now to head up these different chapters. How has she influenced you to even work harder at helping people?
Valarie, I think Valarie has a discerning spirit. She sees things in people that people don't see in themselves. And she saw a leader in me and asked me to be a co-lead for the support group in North Carolina. So she's helped me come out of my shell. She's helped me to be more comfortable in my skin. And she's also encouraged me ever since our first conversation.
While I was filming in Raleigh last summer, I had a chance to meet with members of the vitiligo community down there. Talk about this group of people and what they mean to you.
I co-lead the group with a gentleman named Mark Braxton. We have a group of people who are spread out the state of North Carolina. We have members here in Raleigh. We have members in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in Greensboro, in Charlotte, and other areas of the state. And what we do, we try to get together. Well, pre-COVID, we were getting together quarterly. We would rotate our locations to give people opportunity to come to the meetings. So, in having meetings and having fellowship with the individuals, with the members, it's always been uplifting. You know, we share our stories, we laugh, we cry, we encourage, we uplift, and we provide support whenever we can and as often as we can.
I had a chance to meet with Mark as well. He's incredible as well.
He is. And since COVID, we have had a few virtual events. Our most recent event was in February, when we had a community meetup just to, find out where everybody is and how they're doing.
You also had some young people in the group who were just so brave, so strong, just bringing tears to my eyes just thinking about it. But first, how are they doing and what kind of hope do they give you when it comes to this community?
Yes, you met, I think it was 3 teenagers that was there that day. One of them happens to be our goddaughter, Zaray. I met Zaray at church, and when I first met Zaray, I think beside my husband, she is the one has encouraged me as well. I look at her and I am so inspired by her strength. She is very, very strong. Michaela, I met Michaela's mom at work. We worked together. And I saw Michaela in the cafeteria, and I saw that she had vitiligo, and I just ran to her and hugged her. She as well, she's very strong, and encouragement to me as well. And another gentleman that was there, Jonathan, who's kind of quiet, but he's doing well also.
It's just so remarkable to see young people that are able to just be so confident, because being a teenager is tough as it is. And then you have something that makes you look different than other people. And, but they were inspiring to me. They were just so tough. I may have to do a film just on the young people with vitiligo, because they really did inspire me, but we'll get to that after this one. But talk about some of the things that you do in North Carolina to help support others in the vitiligo community.
Well, we've had presence at the Carolina Hurricane Hockey Games. That was pre-COVID. And we also had a table at Women's Empowerment, which is a women's event, probably the largest women's event in North Carolina. And that was also right before COVID hit in 2019. We currently are in the process of getting our proclamations together for Vitiligo Awareness Month in June. We've actually already received the proclamation from the city of Raleigh. And currently we're waiting on the proclamation from the county as well as the state. So once we get the proclamations, we can actually, we're planning to hold events in the month of June, just to celebrate for the entire month.
That's amazing. I also had the great opportunity of visiting your church, and you have such a strong faith life. And that's where I met your goddaughter. And there was actually another woman there who also had vitiligo. How does your church family support you?
When I first was diagnosed, I sang on the choir and on the praise team. And I was thinking that I was going to have to stop because I didn't know how people were going to react to my skin changing. But I didn't have to do that. And, they've encouraged me every step of the way from day one. No one has treated me any different from when, I first started, my pigment started changing. Everybody still treats me the same, no different. So they've been very, very extremely supportive. And I am so appreciative of how they have wrapped their arms around me, basically, and joined me with my journey.
And give the church a shout out, because they are some great people down there. I can't wait to come back and visit with them.
I will. And they enjoyed you and your husband as well.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, more with Katrina when we continue. But first, the official film trailer to the upcoming film documentary, More Than Our Skin. You're listening to the PowerPLAY Show.
Did he have vitiligo, and is that why he lightened his skin?
The king of pop had vitiligo.
I'm a Black American. I'm proud to be a Black American.
And he allegedly bleached his skin.
I have a skin disorder. There is no such thing as skin bleaching.
Let's get to the fact versus the fiction here.
He has a serious skin condition, which I have witnessed.
When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
My world ended that day.
Because what was your biggest fear?
I'm just too fabulous for that. All of this chocolate, milk chocolate, you're saying may go away?
That's all I did was watch TV, go to the refrigerator, watch TV, go to the refrigerator. That's it. That's all I did. I wasn't doing nothing. I was staying in the house.
You know, next to photos, it's like, and then be the spotted one. So it was hard, absolutely.
This was gonna be it, that there was not gonna be anything else out there to help me because I had already tried everything.
Why me? Especially in mornings when you had to do life again each day. I was like, why me?
Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease.
The immune system, which we know fights viruses, and vitiligo, it's the skin color cells.
Leading to white patches, often in exposed areas such as the face or hands. When patients come in, sometimes they just want to know what's going on.
Is this something that I can catch?
And once we know what causes vitiligo and what drives vitiligo, we can design treatments and be able to treat patients.
The creators of 100 Years, 100 Voices of Faith bring you more than our skin. The compelling stories of 5 women living with vitiligo. It's the story of more than the skin you see. It's the pain, depression, suicide thoughts that come knowing that with their pigmentation, a bit of humanity also faded away.
I was upset. They used to stare and look and point.
How is the disease affecting them?
I didn't want to be around people.
Not leaving their homes because it so deeply affects them.
The view of all the people and them.
There's no way you can hear those stories and not get personally involved.
Oh, were you burned in a fire? And I looked at him like, and I said, does this look like a burn?
And through their anger and pain, they're able to stand strong with the support of their communities to tell the world what they want you to know about what it means to live with vitiligo.
The journey will be hard.
They should not, make fun of people.
It's not just spots on your skin. This is affecting this.
We got to speak for those that don't want to speak, for the voiceless.
My biggest hope is that it encourage, lift up, pick up someone that's down in the dumps. Our aim is to continue on this upward motion, making it happen.
More than our skin.
Now, back to the Power Play show.
As you know, we are heading down the home stretch with this film, and last week we actually celebrated a year since this project began. What has this last year been like for you?
Oh man, where do I begin? The first meeting we had, I didn't know what to expect, but it's been a great journey. We've had an awesome time. The other ladies, I consider them my sisters. We've grown so close, and I pull from them. I just enjoyed every meeting that we've had. It's been joy. Like I said on a call last week, I said that it's been joyful. It's been powerful. It's been anointed. It's been so encouraging. It's been uplifting. It's just been an awesome, awesome experience. And you are an amazing producer, director.
Oh, thank
what
you.
can I say? What else can I say? You've just been awesome. You've made things easy for us. And you're just an amazing, amazing producer and director.
Well, I thank
so
you.
Appreciate you.
Because that first meeting was quite intimidating for me, because it was like I was coming into you all's world, right? I'm the outsider, and I was so conscious at first about how to ask questions, how to ask the right questions. But you guys made very, very quickly, you guys made me feel just so comfortable. You guys were like, ask us anything. You can ask us. Mm-hmm. We're not like that. We will answer whatever you have. And you just made my job so easy. So if I'm great, it's because you guys are all great.
I prefer people to ask questions than not. And because that's how you learn. Mm-hmm. That's how you educate yourself. It's by asking the questions, instead of just kind of staring, wondering what's going on. Just ask a question. So, it's okay for you to ask the questions. We appreciate it.
And this June, we're going to be showing some clips from the film at the Vitiligo Conference in Minnesota. You excited? Nervous?
I am very excited. I'm ready to go.
Because it's been a while since everyone's gotten together.
Yes. We haven't gotten together since the last conference in Houston. So I'm ready to meet my new brothers and sisters and then rekindle the relationships that I already have.
And when we have that panel, I believe it's a Friday night, and we're going to be, like I said, showing some clips from the film, and people are going to be asking questions. And I really wanted it to be about you all, but you guys are insisting that I'm up on the stage with you.
Yes,
I don't know why.
You must.
But, I think one of the things that I take away is that, and you said it before, is that you guys have kind of become my sisters. You guys are all my sisters. And I really feel like this has not been a Hull Bay production or Centurion Filmwork production. This has been all of us together kind of creating this magic. And, and I'm hoping that people receive that and they see that when we're all together.
I do too. We've been on this journey for a year, and hopefully that people will see that relationship that we have, and the relationship that we're hoping to continue even after the film is over.
Absolutely. Talk about why these conferences are so important to the vitiligo community.
Well, they're important, first of all, because we can get more education, be more educated about vitiligo, to receive the latest information, to come together and fellowship with one another again, because it really is like a one big family when everybody gets together. So it's important to also get the support that you need from other people. Just establish relationships and to rekindle the relationships that you've had and we've had, and we have not been able to get together since a conference in Houston. I encourage anyone out there that has not been to a conference, even if you have gone to a conference, to come back. If you haven't been, come join us. You will have a wonderful time. Once you go, you will always want to come back.
Once this film is completed, what are you hoping audiences walk away knowing more about you, your story, the other 4 women's story? What are you hoping that people walk away with?
I hope they walk away knowing more about vitiligo and how it affects our lives. And yes, of course, it is more than our skin, and what we have to deal with daily. The stares, the behind behind your back snickles, or the laughter, the giggles, and all of that. So I hope they walk away knowing what it is like to live with vitiligo, even if they don't have it.
Katrina Christian, thank you so much for being my guest today. Tell folks in the North Carolina area, how can they get in touch with VitFriends North Carolina?
They can go to our Facebook page. It's the North Carolina Vitiligo Support Community Group. We do have a Facebook page there. And we also you can also reach us through the VitFriends page, which I believe is www.vitfriends.org.
All right. And we will have that information on our website. And if you want to learn more about the film and outreach project, these amazing women featured in the documentary, the creative team behind the making of this film, or to leave a donation, you can visit our website at morethanourskin.com. Katrina, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Tomorrow, join me for my conversation with Millicent Meadows. Until then, I'm Tonya McGrath, and thank you for tuning in.